here's maybe a little pre-show topic.
Okay.
That is directly related to this movie, but I think this is one of the very first things that we ever talked about when we first had you on.
No, I can't believe I forgot about this. Yeah.
We talked about French Connection?
We talked about the streaming version of the French Connection.
Yes.
Oh,
that
problem.
omitted a particular scene in which Gene Hackman's character says a few particular words.
Right.
And like
Right.
I think that is one of the very first things, and I think at the
pretty early in
time
the
what
movie.
that was like one of your most highly viewed videos was you discussing that particular thing.
No, that 100%. I can't believe I forgot about that. I did want to bring that up because I'm pretty sure that was the first video of yours that I saw. Like, that's how I discovered your channel was the French Connection video.
Gene Hackman saying slurs brings people together. I don't.
Oh, totally. Yeah, shit talking is going to bring everyone together, and that's what happened there. Which I do not like putting videos out like that, but yeah, that was annoying when I found that Criterion, which I think Criterion Channel had it on there, and then it was censored, but they were just using somebody else's copy somehow. And it was censored by the studio. But what does censor mean? The claim was that maybe Friedkin was okay with it or okayed it, but I just can't imagine that. I don't believe
I can't.
that.
Not him. He doesn't seem like
like
the guy that would.
He seems
I don't know.
he seems like a very uncompromising person when it comes to like his vision of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like I cannot imagine he would sign off on. I mean, and also like after watching the movie, it's like it's such a little thing. It's not even
so
like
minor.
Oh,
and
it's
like
pathetic.
Yeah.
He's chasing down a black guy and harassing him in the very first, and then you have, we're going to censor a word.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
Or we're going to keep in all of like maybe the racial profiling. We're going to keep that all that stuff
exactly.
in. Like at that point, just remove those subplots entirely, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I did make sure because of that I have this on DVD, so I watched it on my DVD so I could watch the N-word cut. I made sure that
Is it still censored? Has anyone verified if it still is like on streaming services?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I wonder if like they would like the PR. It's like a PR nightmare because then the headline is like they go back on it and then they're like it sounds like they're championing using those words because they're like we capitulated and put the slurs back on there. Right. So it's like either way, you should have just left it alone is like the moral of the story. But it's like by taking it away, it's like you take it away, you make some people mad, and then you put it back, and then other people are mad. It's just like just don't touch it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. So it's on the Criterion Channel, and it is not edited.
Oh, okay. So
it is the full. Yeah.
Okay.
It's right there.
Interesting.
At 10:19 in the movie. If you want to look it up.
Those fucking racists.
Yeah.
The Criterion
Canceling
channel.
the Criterion channel for boycotting them now.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to another episode of ThereWillBeDuds. This is episode 185, and I am your co-host, TJ. And with me, as always,
I am Nick, and joining us once again for the fifth time?
I think it's more than that.
Easily the most returned guest of the show, I guess, other than Chris for Halloween, but
yeah, that isn't just like one of our friends.
Dr. Josh Matthews, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Honor and privilege, as always. But you did not choose a dud. You don't get to say terrible negative things here, unless you hate this movie, but I don't think you do.
No, I mean, well, before you were requesting to be on specifically on a dud episode, and then we did Little Italy, and that was like...
God, I forgot about Little Italy.
I didn't think that was as duddy as it could get, I need to do a full out and out.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible movie.
Well, yeah, you'll say that, and then we're gonna have you on for one of those, and you're gonna take that back. You're gonna wish.
Oh no, I love. Do you guys know Mystery Science Theater or not?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course,
Yeah.
I mean the old one. Now that's on Netflix, and they redid it. But I love that show. So I guess people have to make fun of the movie while I'm watching it. But
that is part of the fun. But yeah, there is a sort of fascination with bad movies, and we tend to talk about that a lot, like what makes a good bad movie, like what are the elements that are there, because there are plenty of movies that are like incompetently made, and it's like it's not bad in a funny way, but there's like certain criteria that's like that has to be met, I guess, for us to really really enjoy like a bad movie that's like an Ed Wood type movie where it's just like that guy is passionate. And that guy is also not very good at making movies. And it's like those two things are what make incredible bad movies.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no fun if the filmmakers don't care too. Yeah.
You're the real connoisseurs of bad taste.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like he was saying, when we get like a really bad movie and we're like, there's nothing to talk about in this, we're forced to like get like meta and esoteric about like the concept of like bad movies and whatever. Those are probably like our most heady episodes, is when we get those really really like shitty movies.
We did like From Justin to Kelly, and like we were on a roll, like talking about like specifically that about like bad movies, but also there was like a charm to From Justin to Kelly.
Yeah, I think that movie
that like you liked a lot more than us, but
I did. Yeah.
Maybe we should call you the bad movie police.
Oh,
you could be the Gene Hackman of the.
Hell yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right. Let's get back. Yeah, on track. Okay. Yes. French Connection. Or wait, I jumped the gun. Now
introduce it. Yeah.
I got to introduce the movie. Right. As always, we watched a movie this week. That movie is The French Connection from 1971, directed by William Friedkin. It follows a couple police, or a couple detectives, narcotics officers, Popeye and Cloudy.
Yes.
As they unravel this elaborate heroin, like import, we call that smuggling ring, and take down the bad guys via France. It's a very, watching this and not really knowing much about it other than like I knew it was a cop movie and that's about it, and I had seen like a couple shots from it. I didn't know what this was about at all. I was surprised. It's funny, like early on I was thinking of like just like I was like, oh, like other early 70s kind of crime movies. Obviously your mind goes to like The Godfather, and I realized by the end this is kind of like those are kind of grouped together more so in my brain, because The Godfather is like the template for every gangster movie afterwards, right? And watching this, I'm like, this has to be the template for like every cop movie after this. Like you got the two guys. There's like the one who's a little more like a rowdy, like roughhousey cop. You got
like
the good cop, bad cop. Yeah, and you got the classic, just like drug smuggling operation. You get the scene where there's like the rival cops and they like make a crack at them, so then they fight, and then the cop does the captain does the "you're off the case, get out of here" sort of thing. And it's so like you've seen that like played out like so many times since then. But I was watching this, I'm like, maybe it's not the first one to do all these individual things, but this really feels like like it's the hero's journey version of Detective Story or whatever.
And maybe the template for like
you've not
car
seen
chases?
this movie before. Oh, excuse me. Hey, neither of you have seen it, or
no?
Nope.
So this is the first time. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, correct.
I knew the part where he shoots the guy on the stairs because that's like maybe the most famous like image from the movie. And I knew that Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider were in it. That was like the extent of my knowledge, and that they say slurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize or read that or know that until afterwards. I was just kind of skimming the Wikipedia that the car chase is really well known. I guess it's very well regarded. Made me think of one of my favorites from a few years prior is Bullet. I love that's my like go-to like classic car chase scene. Yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to start with this? Anybody got anything they want to talk about in particular, or I can?
I can. So, yeah, like you said, I knew this movie like won Best Picture. I knew Gene Hackman was like this was like one of those movies that like really like put him on the map for like an actor's actor. I'm not sure like what he did beforehand, but I think this is like largely considered to be like the movie that kind of made him like really famous. I mean, he won best actor for it. I did not know. I feel similarly to how I felt watching Memories of Murder, where I go into Memories of Murder, and my perception of this movie is that it's going to be a very like sort of dark, somber, like it's like cop drama where it's like they're hunting a serial killer. And I thought it was going to be kind of more of a dour, darker tone. And then they start drop kicking people right off. And it's like you begin to learn that they're sort of like these dipshit, incompetent cops. And I think going into The French Connection, I was expecting like a very moody boilerplate cop movie. And then Gene Hackman is the most unsubtle police officer that I've ever seen depicted in a movie, where it's just like, I don't know, maybe this is how policing was done in the 70s, maybe like, because like you hear about like New York in the 70s, and apparently it was like the crime was really bad, like that kind of thing. But it's like they're just going around and just like, who are you? Get up against the wall, move ass, like, and it's just like you could not get away. You could not, like, even if you arrest these people, it would never like stand trial at all, because like you're not reading them their Miranda rights, you're not doing like anything by the books. But it's like you can't even argue that it's like that he's so good that he can get away with it because he's that good. Because like there's other like little conversations that happen in the movie where they will say like, oh yeah, and you got like so and so killed, and obviously he just resorts to violence immediately because he's just like, you said what? And then they go fighting. But I was like taken aback by I guess how little character development there was for Gene Hackman's character. He was pretty constant throughout the entire thing, and like I was not expecting this to be as much of like an action movie as well as like the cop drama. I still like really enjoyed like those like set pieces and the car chase and all of that, but my expectations going into this were a little different than what the movie actually was.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a sensitive humanist tale, which the cop gets a heart of gold at the end and becomes Serpico or something like that. It leans into the grubby, nasty realism.
Yeah,
that is true.
Continuing to, it's almost like a new world in movies at this point. And really embraces that, and then the documentary style is coming in here. And I felt I did not understand this movie as a kid, which trying to watch the Best Pictures, and you've got Lawrence of Arabia and then this movie, and they're only 8 years apart, and you look at them both like, I can't even believe they're in the same 8 years or in the same century.
That's a good point. This probably felt like an adrenaline shot in like the industry at the time.
Right? Yeah.
That car chase. That's why the car chase is pretty well known. I looked at it shot for shot at one point, and he nearly hits a woman with the stroller, and it's just it's completely reckless. I think that's the idea of the movie, is like the recklessness of everything: the city, the cops, the procedural matters of the cops, and the car chase, which was, that everybody knows this was filmed illegally. They didn't have permits.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
So they just did it. Yeah. I think there's a real car crash in it. I think the car crash in it was inadvertent.
Oh yeah.
I could be wrong. We looked that up, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Oh my god.
During that car chase, yeah, they were not supposed to shoot that.
I bet William Friedkin was like, hell yeah, this is real. This is realism. This is like actually happening. He probably was like, we gotta keep that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hackman is a new actor, but he'd done a movie a year before. Never Sang for My Father. I think he got nominated for an Academy Award there.
Okay.
So he had some cred, but for sure, this was what takes him from, you know, a decent level to like superstar, where he's in the Towering Inferno or whatever it was in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As a major star.
And Conversation was a few years after this too.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, that was another big one. Yeah, that was something else that I noted pretty quickly, was like just how like brutal the movie is. Like that like actually shocked me. Like I went, oh, in like the first scene in France, where there's like the most French guy stalking the other most French guy you've ever seen, who of course when he dies, his like death loot is a baguette that the guy like picks up. Like but anyways, when he like turns and then the guy shoots him, and it's just a really quick, you get the bang and then you see the blood come out and then boom, he's down. It's like, yeah, like I could immediately tell that like that feels like it feels very new and fresh, like you guys were saying. Like I know that, not to say this was the first realistic movie or that showed like people dying that way, but you know, it being like Best Picture and like just all of this stuff together, I think there weren't a lot of movies, a lot of big profile movies that I think were going for this sense of realism. As like even down to like where you get like multiple scenes almost back to back of like 5+ minutes of guys quietly tailing other guys through the city. You know, there's a lot of like stakeouts and like tailings and in lieu of probably like character development, but it's like that's not what this movie's about.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved a lot of those. There were some really good like rack focuses where like you'd see I think his name was like Boca or Boko. He would be like in somewhere, and then you'd see kind of a shape in the window, and then it would rack focus in on it, and then it'd just be like Gene Hackman just like looking around, just like picking up like a newspaper and then walking away.
I like the one in Washington when the bad guy was talking to the other guy, and then he walks away, and it does like a extreme zoom on like the steps like far behind them, and there's a guy and he like picks up the binoculars.
Did you guys like Roy Scheider in this? Is that he's new and fresh at this point. Of course, he does Jaws in 4 years. I think this is one of his first movies. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure.
Probably. Let me see. I can check actually.
Oh, he was in he was in French Connection and Clute the same year.
Same year. Okay, yeah. So Clute was another. That's a pretty well-known one.
But I would imagine a couple
other things, but yeah, this is probably. Like
I would imagine the French Connection, and then obviously Jaws is like what I think most people know him from. Like that's the only movie that I'd seen him in that like I recognized him.
All That Jazz too. I think that's another big one.
People love Sorcerer with Friedkin and.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking about, like with like all the realism and like the actual car crash and all of that, because like I haven't seen Sorcerer, but I know that there's like elements of danger to that one where William Friedkin kind of like pushed the limits on stuff to get certain shots. Where it was like, you guys are going to be on this rickety bridge, or you're going to be like actually in the jungle, like stuff like that.
Is that one that's like, is that like sort of a loose remake of a like Wages of Fear or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
It's pretty close. It wildly exaggerates. You think it's crazy in Wages of Fear what they do, and it's crazier in Sorcerer. But yeah, it's pretty similar.
But yeah, I liked Roy Scheider. I really like their coupling. Like those two as like a matchup is pretty cool.
That's a pair that I don't think they would ever cast, in the last 30 years, because they look, I would say they look alike, but they look alike enough. Like, just people that have a hard time. Like, the only thing that sets them apart is the hat, which is Popeye's Doyle's hat. Otherwise, it's like two white guys, two average height white guys walking around together. But there is something about those two somehow, and I don't know how that can easily tell them apart and different. And it may be that the moral, whatever you said, one's rowdy and bawdy, and the other one's
straight-laced. Yeah.
And that's introduced really quickly in the movie. I mean, it takes 10 minutes, and several times it emphasizes that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, because, like, Gene Hackman was 41 in this movie. And, man, he was hauling ass a lot. There was, like, a lot of physicality. Where, like, my first Gene Hackman movie that I can remember is, like, the Royal Tenenbaums. So I'm like, oh, that's Royal Tenenbaum. He is sprinting. He's like,
Hoosiers.
But I was sort of impressed with his like physicality in this, like sprinting around and running. Like there's a good amount of running that he does. I don't know. Gene Hackman's like one of those guys that he looks like he's like looked like an old man probably since he was in his like early 30s.
Yeah.
He's just got one of those looks,
Yeah.
And Roy Scheider was like almost 40.
Yeah, I think he was 38 or something.
Yeah.
I think I checked he was like 38 in this.
Man, remember when they just casted guys in movies and they weren't like all hot pop stars and like influencers? Remember when like guys like Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider were in movies and they just looked like guys? I think that adds to it. Like I think
you walk around the world and you get secondhand smoke, and you're aging 10 years at every step you take, basically.
Yeah.
I think that helped. I think Roy Scheider has a very sympathetic face, and maybe again that's like sort of influenced by Jaws and like his character arc throughout that. But he kind of has like has a long face with like those sort of puppy dog eyes almost, where it's like I think he's a good foil to Gene Hackman, who is very sort of like scowling, and he almost has like a Tony Soprano look. Like, I mean, maybe it's because he's like slightly balding, but like if you look on IMDb, there's one picture in particular where he's like kind of looking at the camera, and I swear to God, like Tony Soprano, like James Gandolfini has made a very similar face, just sort of like a, like, I don't know. It's like, but he's like another guy that has looked like he was in his mid 40s, like since he was in his 30s.
Yeah. I think that was just the standard for like people at that in that time. Yeah, I think I mean it helped that like I am familiar with those guys anyways, but I will say I was feeling that face blindness with like all of the like mafia guys. Like it was hard for me to keep track of who was who, and then they're like tailing a different person in like each scene, and I'm like, wait, is this the same guy, or which is this the lawyer guy? Is this, which one is this? So it made the, it's I guess it's not the fault of the movie or whatever, but it did make it was a little confusing to watch for me. Like I'll admit that like it was hard for me to follow the story at points because of that, not being able to like keep track of all the different people in it.
It's sort of a confusing movie, period. What's going on? Who's doing what? Why are they doing what they're doing? Partly it's maybe because it's based on a true story that happened in the mid 20th century, and we're used to more like, I always think this is like French drug lords. Are there such things as French drug lords? Like they're always Colombians, and in the movies that I know, Central Americans or Colombians, and now it's French.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Like
so at some point in time that
Spanish.
shifted.
I thought that was funny.
Who are the heroin smuggler? Which countries smuggle heroin in? These guys, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like France at all.
Yeah. I know. I guess I should see if the actual one was from France. Maybe that's why. Because this was based on like an actual like drug bust or something. It was like a huge like drug bust. At the time, I'll see if the actual one was in France. But actually, the guy that plays the chief in this, he's the IRL Popeye. Like that's the real.
Oh,
like,
really?
The person that
both
Popeye
of them are in
on.
it. Both of like the two cops that like were the Roy Scheider and Gene Hackman. They're both in this movie.
Oh, okay.
I did not realize that. Yeah, that's a neo-realist thing to do, is cast the normal people who were in the real events into your movie.
Especially when like the character is like not he's not like a bad guy. Like he's ultimately like he's the protagonist or whatever, but it's just funny that he's the actual guys in the movie, and like the character of him in the movie is kind of like a bumbling sort of, like he gets the job done, but he's also kind of a fuck up at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it is not like the most flattering portrayal. I mean, it's probably a real portrayal, I guess. And that would be interesting to see, like, what's his name? Eddie Egan. It'd be interesting to see, like, Eddie Egan on set watching Gene Hackman pretend to be him. And it makes you wonder, like, he'd have to, like, sign off on it, I guess. Or, like, I don't know. I think that would be a weird phenomenon to go through, to, like, be in the movie based on your life, based on like actual events that happened to you that you went through. I don't know.
Yeah, that's always gotta be weird. Or you got like fucking Jordan Belfort in like The Wolf of Wall Street, who's just like, I don't care. He's like, this is going to put more money in my pocket, right? Yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah. But then, like on the opposite hand, you have like Zodiac, where Mark Ruffalo's character.
I thought you were gonna say where the Zodiac is in the movie or whatever. Like
that would be actually crazy.
David Fincher
if he
found out who it was and he cast him in the movie and just didn't tell anyone.
He like told him at the rap party.
Yeah.
But yeah, the detective that Mark Ruffalo plays, like he was there, like
Tosky
on set and like talking about him, and, like So it is interesting when movies do that.
Yeah, speaking of Bullet too, because Bullet is based off of Dave Tosky too. So there you go. There's another direct connection. The character that Mark Ruffalo plays in Zodiac is named Dave Tosky, and the character Bullet from the movie Bullet is based off of Dave Tosky. Anyways, I really like that movie. But yeah, it looks like it was France, like in real life. It was from France. It looks like a lot of it seems like they didn't embellish or add, like there was like an actual analog for the couple. The like, what were their names in this? Was that the Bocas, the like husband and wife
Angie.
that they were listening to? Yeah, like those were two actual people, and those were their like ties into it. There was like the lawyer guy. There was an actor, like a French actor, who they used to like smuggle in the stuff. So yeah, it kind of feels like all the pieces were there, like in real life, and yeah, that's interesting. Also, I'm reading on this that Friedkin strongly opposed Gene Hackman for the movie, and I'm going to try to count. They went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10 other named actors that all had issues or turned it down before they went to Gene Hackman.
10.
I think James Caan. Yeah. I think I was reading it. James Caan
is there
was
a list
there.
of who?
Yeah.
Peter Boyle, I think, was on there too.
No.
Yeah. His first pick, which funny that we've been talking about Bullet. His first pick was Paul Newman. Then Jackie Gleason, Peter Boyle, Jimmy Breslin, who was a columnist who had never acted before. I'm sorry, I was getting Paul Newman and Steve McQueen confused. But Steve McQueen is also on the list. And then Charles Bronson, Lee Marvin, James Caan, Robert Mitchum, and Rod Taylor.
A Robert Mitchum French Connection would be interesting.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
That would work. Those other ones, I'm not sure that would.
Yeah,
I
like
think-
Charles Bronson,
close.
Lee Marvin. Like, I love Lee Marvin, but
Bronson.
I can't really see him in this. Yeah.
I feel like they're too pretty. I feel like Paul Newman is like too pretty. I think Gene Hackman
way too. Yeah,
is he's got a face for it.
Yeah. No, yeah, he does work for it. And then the guy that Fernando Rey, who plays Alain Chanier, the bad guy, he was casted because of mistaken identity, because Friedkin had seen like some movie and he really liked the performance of this actor in the movie, and he told the casting director to hire the Spanish guy from this movie, and they contacted this guy instead. So he wanted somebody else to play the bad guy, but there was like a miscommunication over who he meant. I don't know if we want to jump to the end already, but the ending was pretty interesting. That also was kind of surprising for a movie of this time, like the sort of like ambiguity of it.
Oh,
with, like,
yeah.
the gunshot.
Yeah, I was
that you
very
don't
taken
see.
aback by that.
I was really surprised that it was that, and then I was like, "Oh, is it going to? Oh, it's okay. The movie's over." But then
Totally. Yeah, unsatisfactory.
yeah. But then it gives you a little postscript where it's like he was never caught, and then they were reassigned, and I was like, I feel like that kind of deflates that ending a little bit, because don't they you know, you don't see what happens. Isn't the idea that it's like, oh, well, did he die? Did he shoot the guy? Did Popeye get shot? But then it like gives you the postscript, and you know they're both alive, I guess. Or maybe you could intuit that it says that Elaine was never captured. Maybe you could say that maybe Popeye killed him and then just like hid his body somewhere or something. Except that there's a sequel to this movie apparently, and it's about like Popeye going to France to like track him down or whatever. That sounds so weird. That sounds so.
A few people like it, but I would not recommend it. It's okay, but John Frankenheimer directed the sequel, and it I don't know. It's more like a straightforward movie,
more
about trying to get a bad guy. You know,
I feel like it'd have to be. It seems so like. It just seems so strange. It feels like capitalizing on the popularity of this movie for sure.
Oh yeah,
because it really feels like this movie was not supposed to have a sequel, and I almost wonder if the little like postscript thing was a studio idea, because in my opinion, I think that really like. Yeah, I don't want to say it like, I mean, it kind of does. It kind of like, it doesn't completely ruin the ending, but like I said, it deflates it. It's like, it lessened the impact of that, you know, the final like gunshot for me, because then it like immediately tells you afterwards that, oh yeah, they're okay.
Yeah.
It's like Rise of Skywalker, like blowing up the ship that Chewbacca's on, and then like 5 minutes later, they're like, actually, Chewbacca's still alive. He wasn't on that ship.
so I didn't rewatch it for this, but I do remember it decently well, except for this point. When he goes down into that, it's so grubby, the warehouse, wherever they're at.
Yeah, it's really gross.
Isn't it possible that he shoots another cop?
Yes, he does.
Right?
I mean,
it's left ambiguous at the end?
Well, okay, so he does shoot another cop, and then Roy Scheider's there, and he's like, you shot McGilvey or whatever. He's like, you shot him. And then Gene Hackman's just like, I don't care. We got to go get this guy.
He's like, I know he's still down here. And he like presses forward.
Yeah.
And then the final shot is him going into the darkness, and then there's a bang
shot,
right?
and then it freeze frames.
Yeah. And then the postscript thing says Alain Chanier was never captured and remains at large, or maybe it just says he was never captured. And then it says Doyle and Cloudy were reassigned and moved out of narcotics. That's all it says for them. It doesn't. Yeah. I mean, so yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like he could have shot someone else, but I really felt like the way that it ended was implying that one of those two guys shot each other, you know, like one of them died, but then it tells you nope. And it was just weird.
I do see what you're saying regarding like it seems to have wanted to end on like an ambiguous note, and then it basically dispels the ambiguity like immediately. I interpreted it almost like, I don't know, it felt almost like nihilistic, because the whole movie you're kind of watching this like dramatized version of like these true events, and you watch like I don't know if he actually like shot a federal agent in his pursuit of this guy or not.
That'd be wild if that was part of the real thing and they included it. But
and they just cut back to like the guy who's like watching Gene Hackman play him, and he's like, "Yep, I did that. I shot that Fed right in the chest." You know, he's just like, but I don't know. The ending for me, yeah, like I said, it felt a little nihilistic because you watched all of that go down in the movie. You watched this car chase. You watch like the lady with the stroller get shot by like the sniper on the roof. Like there's a lot of like brutal deaths, especially like the deaths on the train car. Like that felt like George Romero effects from like Dawn of the Dead. Like that sort of like really like almost like neon red blood that just like sprinkles out. Like it felt almost like cartoonish. But you watched all of that, and then I feel like the movie basically says like, no, most of these, either this guy got away or this guy got like a misdemeanor and only served like a few months, and this guy, the actor, like got the most trouble out of all of them. He served like
crazy
4 years in a penitentiary, and he was just like the patsy for all of them.
Yeah.
And I saw the ending, and I saw like all that post-credit stuff, and I was like, this is like the bleakest like ending you could have, because it showed that ultimately all of their police work like didn't amount to much. Like most of them like got away with like lesser sentences, and it almost felt like, what was it all worth it? Was any of that worth it at all? And that like I understand your point about the ambiguity, but I kind of watched it and I was like, oh, that's like a bleak outlook for like a very mean kind of bleak movie.
Yeah,
that's really good. I suppose because it's based on a true story.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you know, you got people at the time knew, or you could have looked it up or something like that. So if it were pure fiction, yeah, you could end on the ambiguity. But I guess people would know what would happen. You know, or they could find out.
Like movie magic. You know, and you.
I would say like agree with that more if they were like at the actual character, like if they were named after the actual people, and but like I think the fact that they all have their made up names is like it's adding kind of a layer of fiction to it, which allows you to like, you know, make up your own ending.
Separate it a little bit. Yeah.
And I totally like I like what you said about like the nihilistic ending. I'm just saying end it before you get the bits about Popeye and Charnier. Just like you get a little like see what happened to everybody else in the case. But then just like maybe you even like show their picture and you think that it's going to like say what happened to him, but then it doesn't. Then it just goes with the credits or something like that. That'd be fun.
Well, we'll wait for your censored version to come out. We'll watch that one.
Yeah, there we go.
You can just make the cut. It's easy to make.
Perfect.
Like Bill Pullman in like Lost Highway, where he's like, I like to remember things my way.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the drug stuff in the right smack in the middle of it, which I'm looking at, where they're testing the heroin.
Yeah.
And I am struggling to think of a movie before this that went that far to show you how it all worked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty commonplace nowadays, Breaking Bad and whatnot, and like they're making the meth, and here's the procedure bit by bit, step by step.
Yeah.
But it's just like real close shot, and then you just see them step by step. And of course, in the 30s, they banned any kind of narcotic sales and showing anybody using narcotics, just for the reason that people would then learn how to do it or how to go buy it. You know, and that's part of their gritty realism at this point is, hey, we can get away with showing you just how it's done. I mean, testing the heroin for its quality.
Yeah, and like even in the IMDb trivia section, it does say that like it was real heroin that they were using. It wasn't. That's what it says. It wasn't like flour.
They tested it on set. Someone get a Gene Hackman get to try it out.
I was wondering when they put the solution on it and it was turning brown. I was like, okay, unless they got a heater under that and that's like sugar, why is it doing that? Unless it's heroin.
That would be, everyone could be booked for a crime in this movie. They could get more time than the people in smugglers.
Yeah, for real. That's how you end the movie is like you get the gunshot, the cut to black, and then it's just like William Friedkin was later arrested for using actual heroin in this movie. Yeah, I mean, like reading through a lot of the like details about this movie, it sounds like William Friedkin like wanted it to be as real as possible to the point where like a lot of the extras are like former police officers or current police officers at the time. Like the guy that's the mechanic was an actual NYPD police like mechanic guy. A lot of the extras in the bar scenes were actual cops. Like again, this feels like pre-Safdie brothers, where like if you watch like their movies like Uncut Gems, like a lot of the characters in Uncut Gems are just like people that they met like in the Diamond District of New York. Like a lot of them are just people playing like sort of like, you know, scripted versions of like of themselves and like how they would actually be. And again, like, you know, the other comparison you can make is like the way that the Safdie brothers like show New York and how disgusting it apparently was. Like this movie, I don't know, I feel like a lot of the times when you watch like romantic comedies or you watch like movies about New York, you see Central Park and you see like cafes and clubs and you see like the nicer neighborhoods and the nicer like restaurants and all of that. But this movie is gross and there's like trash and dirt and mud everywhere, and it's like it adds like a layer of that like gritty realism that again was like probably unheard of at the time.
It's not a travelogue or a tourist ad for the city at all. As you know, I think Bullet, as you mentioned, and several others like San Francisco celebrates that to some extent, and this one, it just gets worse as it goes. I think it starts in France, right? And
that's the
pretty nice scene there, but then it goes to New York, and then it's grubby, and it gets grubbier and grubbier until the very end, in which it looks like it's so disgusting.
It looks like
Stalker. Wherever that final scene is.
Yeah, it looks like Tarkovsky's Stalker. That's where that like, final scene is. Takes place in the zone or whatever. Yeah, there were a couple shots. I actually almost wrote it down, just like the city at night stuff, and it's got, maybe it was aided by the fact that I watched this on DVD, so it's even like a little like lower quality, but it's kind of got that like washed out like pastel look to all the neon. Like it's kind of pleasing, but that was just like a few straight shots. I would agree that most of
those
the
are like pre-Taxi Driver kinds of.
Yeah, I guess it would have been.
Where the city's lit up, but it's still haunted to some extent. I think he's already chased down a couple guys and been terrible. So, but it's a pretty dark movie overall as far as the color scheme. I'm just looking at it now. It's like black and gray every shot.
Pretty much, yeah.
The sun is. I don't know that the sun is ever out. It is in France, but maybe never in the New York scene.
At the end, the final shootout. You got that scene of him on the bridge, and he does the wave back at the guy. That was really good.
Yep, there it is. Yep.
And then the car chase, But it's a lot of like dark or like underground. There's a bit in the. I like that bit in the sub. It's funny. Like I agree. Like the movie is really like dark and grimy, but there are kind of like we've alluded to a few times that there are like a lot of like humorous moments. Like I got a kick out of the bit where he's tailing the main bad guy, like, and they're like getting on and off the sub like repeatedly.
Yeah. It's like
And then he
Scooby-Doo,
finally-
like chasing each other through hallways.
It's a real Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner type thing in that whole subway sequence.
Yeah. And then he finally loses him, and then he's like banging on the subway door or whatever. The car chase, because he has to like commandeer like some citizen's car, and he's like, the guy tells him as he's like speeding off, he's like, when am I gonna get my car back? And he doesn't answer him, but then he proceeds to completely fuck the guy's car up. Like, just, he smashes the shit out of it.
Yeah, he does.
And it was like, I'm like into the car chase, but at the same time, I'm kind of like laughing at how much he's destroying this guy's car. And then it ends with that shot where he shoots the guy up the stairs, and then he just like, it's so smooth, that shot where he just kind of like sits. He just kind of like, because he's like leaned up because he's really tired, right? So he's leaned up and he fires. And then the guy starts falling down the stairs, and he just kind of like sits to the side, and the guy falls like right next to him. That was really good. And a kind of scary looking stunt too. That guy's just like like planking like down those steps.
Well, isn't he wearing a Santa suit at the beginning? And it's just,
that too. Right. Yeah.
He's running the 100-meter dash. At first he's pretending to be the guy ringing the bell, right, at Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas movie, by the way, just so you know. So
I
make
did
sure
have
on
that
December
thought
25th
when it started.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, I mean,
and that's based on a real thing that they would do. Like a lot of that.
Undercover cops.
Yes, so what I was reading was that they were like, a lot of the times, like when they're like tailing somebody, they could tell who undercover cops are, because I don't know if you've ever seen like videos of it. I've seen videos on like TikTok or whatever. Who knows how real they are? But it'll be like a guy working at like a head shop, like, like a medicinal marijuana or whatever. And like a guy will come in and like try to ask for like, off menu items. And they're just like, you're being obvious. We know you're an undercover cop. Like, I'm not going to sell to you. I know what you're trying to do. Or, I guess thinking about it in like Breaking Bad, which you mentioned earlier, like that episode, like the first Better Call Saul episode where it's like the little wormy guy. He's just like, come on, man, aren't you gonna? I know you got it. And then he turns out to be a cop in the end. But I guess, So a lot of the criminals that they actually tailed, like, would start to pick up on like undercover cop tactics, and they would recognize them. So they had the idea to do like the Salvation Army Santa Claus, because they were like, yeah, what drug dealer is gonna expect the Salvation Army Santa guy to be the undercover cop? And like, I guess it worked.
The third highest grossing film of 1971. Can you imagine a movie like this coming out being the third highest grossing film
and winning Best Picture and like, yeah. That's what it was like back then. Yeah, that is. Yeah, there's been a big shift from that to a Minecraft movie.
Yeah. Movies are kind of coming back. There's some good stuff out, I guess.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's always good stuff too, but it's just yeah.
People probably went around quoting this movie, or like it was like part of the cultural zeitgeist, and now it feels like stuff like the Minecraft movie is, I don't know. Does people even say chicken jockey anymore? Passing phase. But I can start with I guess wrap ups here. I landed on a 7. I think part of it was like my initial like feeling going into it, thinking of what it was going to be versus like what it actually was. I still really liked it. I still really liked a lot of the action set pieces and like sort of the character interactions. I guess maybe I was a little bit bummed that the characters were so one note, but maybe that's just all part of the gritty realism that they were going for. And like, I don't know, I sort of like this idea of like William Friedkin's like nihilistic, like cynical edge to this movie where it's like, yeah, people don't change and people will constantly make the same mistakes over and over, and they are, guided by their hubris to get the guy no matter what. And like, there's a lot of bystanders who get in the way and they die. And it's, I don't know. I kind of like that like kind of dark, gritty edge to it. So I really appreciated that stuff. I don't know. I guess for me, it would have been an entirely different movie if there was like more character development and more of that sort of like, gritty, like cop dialogue where you learn more about the characters. But overall, yeah, I liked it a good amount.
Nice. Yeah, I'm in a similar place actually. Like I feel like I share a lot of the same sentiments as you, where like I think I was wanting a little bit more out of the characters, out of like more meat to the story. Like I especially felt like the villain was pretty like absent, kind of. Like I didn't really get much out of him. So I respect like all the stuff we talked about, all the like, I'm sure like influence that it's had, all that like brutal like realism to it. I really enjoyed, and there was a lot of stuff that was like peppered throughout it. A lot of like good, like memorable moments and bits. I liked the two leads a lot. But then I was like, I like the ending, but then I said that kind of got sullied a little bit for me too immediately. Oh yeah, but despite all these individual moments that I was like enjoying, I was then like drawn back to like all of the slower moments of just tailing guys for multiple minutes at a time that I was not as into. And like I feel like that's more of the movie than what I liked. So yeah.
What was your number rating?
I'm 6 was for me.
Okay.
It's a high 6. I could almost say I'm like, it's one of those like I'm kind of between some, but I feel like if I had to pick a number, I'd go with the.
I could watch it again, and now that I kind of have a better idea of like the story, I could probably like my rating could probably, because there were some things that I was confused about, too. Like the opening shot. Did you know that the guy was supposed to be a cop that was tailing the other guy? I didn't even know the baguette guy was a cop. There were like some details that like, and again, maybe I'm just used to movies that like explain things to me more, that are just like they do exposition dumps. But a lot of this, I was like, sort of like, I figured it out and I pieced it together, but like, it does not hold your hand.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
So it's like going into it again and watching it again, my rating could go up, just like now that I kind of know the scope of the story.
I 100% feel that too. Like I said, like there was the stuff I was saying before, how I like couldn't keep track of like who was who, and that was like kind of making the story harder to follow. If I got around that, it would, I'm sure that would help a lot. So, yeah. But,
yeah, that's all fair. I think I showed this in class one time. The students, I can't remember how many there were, 30 or 50. Yeah, they're not too enthusiastic. I think part of it, I don't know. I feel like your criticisms actually are quite good, because there is no character development. And, I mean, the character is the same, and the city is what it is, and it's a statement about people in a time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the villain is an interesting, because I just went through all of the Hitchcock. I watched every Hitchcock movie, and that is exactly what he would say probably first. Like, the better the villain, the better the movie. Is like his slogan. The more evil, the more, and yeah, the villain
I
here
can
is
definitely
like,
feel that from the Hitchcock movies that I've seen. Yeah. He loves his bad guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So that strikes me as true, but I've watched this pretty closely, shot for shot, and then thinking about what came before it, I'm just kind of I'm always just blown away by it. Just looking at it compared to 5 years prior.
Yeah, sure.
The crazy difference in what was common and then what this is representing. So I'm a 9 because I love Hackman and I like the atmosphere of the movie entirely and a bunch of other stuff, but not a 10 because he can't sprint that fast. That is not realistic. not in a Santa suit.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, that's a good point about like relative to its time and like what came before it. It's like if I'm thinking it like that, it's not a 6, it's something higher. Like what was I doing? I did a review of a video game, not a movie, but a similar thing kind of came up in my mind where okay, it's kind of a little obscure. It's Castlevania Legends. It's a Castlevania game for the Game Boy. And it's like a late stage Game Boy game, and I like the whole pitch of like my review with that was like I didn't think this was a good game, and I did think that I did like the French Connection. I gave it a positive, score, but I'm saying like I didn't like Castlevania Legends, and it has like a low like user like average, but at the same time I'm like that's too low though. This should be higher because it's not a bad game. And I'm thinking like if I'm rating this within the context of like its time and when it came out and all that, it's better. But you have to go. This is why like I have to settle with just like complete subjectivity with some stuff. It's too hard for me to like put myself in the shoes of somebody from 1971 who had never seen like a detective movie before, and that's why like I feel like sometimes I don't know if like sometimes like ratings can seem harsher, and yet I'm like, but I still like respect it a lot and all that, but I have to go with like what did I feel at the end of it.
Yeah
Totally.
I just don't want to scare Josh away because we're giving all this giving this
What do I
movie
care?
a lower rating.
I think it's interesting. I mean, yeah. Actually, to hear you say you knew Gene Hackman first from Royal Tenenbaums is blowing my mind. I'm still stuck on that because
his like second to last movie ever.
Yeah, he was really old then, and he was a big star when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking
he's terrific in that movie, and also he hated Wes Anderson and did not get it at all. I don't know. That's one of my favorite anecdotes is that Gene Hackman saw Wes Anderson as like this little hotshot young director who he was probably like, I was in the French Connection, you punk. Like, what are you telling me how to act? But his performance as Royal Tenenbaum, I think, is great. So, who knows?
Yeah. Oh, damn, he's in Ants. That's probably the first movie I saw him in.
Oh.
That or like I said, The Replacements. I loved The Replacements when I was younger. Yeah, by the way, if you Google, it's kind of weird. Like, because I was looking up the guy's ages, because I had, when I was watching the movie, I was like thinking of like how old they look and how, these guys are probably like in their 30s. You go to like most guys, like Roy Scheider, it has like an exact date for his death. It's kind of ominous going like Googling Gene Hackman, and it just says February 2025.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They couldn't date it?
Because they couldn't date it. Yeah.
It was too ambiguous, huh?
Yeah. It's
just like the French Connection.
Yeah. I can't believe I didn't realize this until the end. Like that's why Miami Connection is called Miami Connection. It's because of this movie. Like it's the same thing. It's like a drug smuggling ring from outside. It's just in Miami, but they call it Miami. They don't call it Japan Connection. I think they're supposed to be Japanese or something. But
did they have a Grand Rapids connection?
We need to bake that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
You kind of just blew my mind. I never put that together, that Miami Connection is basically doing a riff on the French Connection.
Yeah.
Maybe this movie would have been improved if there were some like motorcycle riding ninjas that Gene Hackman had to fight off.
Yeah.
Have you seen Miami Connection, Josh?
I have not. No.
That is a good bad movie. That is
that's
that
fantastic.
that is MST3K material like written all over it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
That's like on our on the letterboxd list of like the dud movies, because TJ has like lists for like regular movies and the dud movies, and there's like a ranking
like I
based
ranked
on
all of the ones that we
based on like how we vote.
Oh, I'll look
I think
that up.
I think Miami Connection might be like second or third.
It's
like
near the
it
top.
is up there.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at his profile on Letterboxd, he's
It's-
got
It's sixth, but I'll tell you, it's a really tight top like 6, 7, 8. And also that's all subjective. Like I think those top few are all like 100% spuds, but then I just kind of like put them in a certain order or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean like Crime Wave is on there at number 2, but like that's like
I still have Ben and Arthur as the number 1, and that's our first episode, which is so funny that we just like hit a grand slam right out the gate. God, Ben and Arthur's so fucking good. I want to really want to watch that
Sleepaway
again.
Camp,
Yeah.
Vampire's Kiss.
So for anybody listening, it's the Dud Cup movies.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
There Will Be Duds Dud Cup.
Yes.
Movies. Yeah.
So that's like based on our like voting on those episodes, that's like our list of like number 1 being like the best representation of bad movies.
That Miami Connection has the weird ratings graph. That is bizarre. I haven't seen one like
it really
that.
does.
Actually. It's like no one wants to rate it 4.5 stars, but there's plenty of 4 and 5s and 3s.
And it's like I think a lot of those are probably ironic 4s and 5s. They're like
okay.
they're rating it high because they enjoyed it and not because it's a good movie.
And then Sean Baker reviewed it. Yeah.
Of course he did.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like
Well,
this is
hey,
one of
that-
those.
Sorry,
Go ahead. I was gonna say this is like one of those movies that I'm pretty sure there's like a boutique release of Miami Connection, like
I think so. Yeah.
like Arrow or Shout Factory or one of those labels. I'm pretty sure there's like a definitive Miami Connection that's like a 2K scan of the original movie, which is hilarious for like a movie like this.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that my rating is a 4.5, and I think that goes back to again the whole thing about how you just have to abandon objectivity, because it's like, of course it's not a great movie. Like I don't know. I think going back to that like if you view movies like through a purely objective lens, it's like, well then there's no point in like rating or scoring, because I feel like you can say that like, yeah, objectively the French Connection is a better movie than Miami Connection, but when I watch these two movies, I have a better time watching Miami Connection. It feels like blasphemy to like to like say that in a way. I acknowledge that it's a worse movie, but to me, it's a more enjoyable experience, and that's why like I go with that, you know, with the I go with my how it makes me feel. And a lot of those ones near the top of the Dud Cup list are like 9s or 10s for me. We do have one for our normal cup too, if you're so inclined. That is a more analytical.
Everyone should check out TJ. It's just this is not. Can anybody just have these? There's no such thing as a unique username there, right? I mean, T.J.
No, so I think the one that I had to secure was like my username, which is J_spot. I think that's the one that I had to secure. But then I think you can just have like your name. I don't know if you're just like Josh on yours or whatever.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, our top 10 is interesting. It's Sherlock Jr., Die Hard, The Departed, Stop Making Sense, Muppet Christmas Carol, Memento, The Matrix, What We Do in the Shadows, Spider-Man 2, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. That is a scattershot of like, you know, classics like The Matrix. I would say is like considered a classic. I mean Sherlock Jr. I mean, yeah, But yeah, it is an interesting top 10.
In a way, I mean, like, obviously, like, I mean, this is for
I think it's representative of this podcast.
Yeah, that's like I'm looking at the top 10. Like that is scattershot. That's like it's not necessarily my top 10 favorite movies of all time, but I feel like that's a pretty good encapsulation of like the kinds of movies that I like. So I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I would hope that's the case for the other hosts. You know. It's fun. Hey, see, we kind of had one of our little meta chats that we usually reserve for those dud episodes in a way.
Yeah, true.
It's funny. Okay. What do we want to do for posts? Because I know there was a lot of stuff. Maybe it's because it's the most fresh for me because I watched it yesterday or the day before or something.
Okay.
But I could go on a rant about the one that I just added.
Poop Cruise, because I just watched that too. Actually,
did you?
I did.
What is it?
It's called Poop Cruise. It's a documentary.
Okay.
It's a Netflix documentary. It's like a series they're doing where it's like there's like a new one.
Yes,
yeah, Trainwreck. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's like each one is about like a different like news story disaster thing, and this one was about it was apparently a big thing. I don't think I remember this when it happened.
I do not remember this at all.
I do remember this. I haven't thought about it in a long time. This is getting trashed on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I fucking despised it. I hated it so much.
What is so wrong with this? Do tell.
So, this is the caveat, I guess. Although, you know, I don't think that this should be defended. Really, there's like a certain style to the. It's a Netflix documentary. It's like they have this format. I feel like that they do for their documentaries. That's just
to interrupt.
Yeah.
I 100% believe it's algorithm based.
I could totally see that because
computers made it probably.
Because it feels very it feels like I was trying to I wrote a few paragraphs in my review just going on about it, and I was trying to avoid the term of like this feels like it was made by AI because I feel like everybody says that, and I was trying to be more like specific with it. But it does feel like...
I'm looking at your review, and there is one part that I also had the exact same thought of. So when you get to that, I will chime in because it made me laugh very hard when it happened. But anyway, continue.
What I was trying to get at is like the whole picture of it is like it feels like the most... It's like template, but not like how French Connection is like template detective movie, but it's like template documentary, but like, oh God, I don't see. This is why maybe it's just made by AI does make the most sense, where it's just like it makes all the most predictable choices the entire way through. There's no surprising elements to it. There's nothing creative about it. There's nothing new or fresh. It's like the antithesis of that's what I should say. It's like the antithesis of a template movie like The French Connection or like The Godfather or whatever. It feels like it is the other end. It is the thing that gets the template put onto it, and then they just don't do anything with it. It's just the most simple, like you can tell when it's trying to be like, oh, and this is the funny part. These are the really interesting talking head characters. Like I feel like they pick people for these specifically because they want to like get clipped and then it gets shared on like Twitter or TikTok or whatever. We're like, oh, look at these wild people they interviewed for this Netflix documentary. They're so crazy and they're so silly, but they're just vapid, soulless, like meat sacks. Like because they interview some of the crew. Most of the crew's fine. You know, I don't really have an issue with like.
Wait, is your problem with the filmmaking or with the people in the film, or both?
It's both. It's both.
Okay.
The filmmaking thing applies to like all Netflix documentaries. But a lot of times I'll watch those and I'll just be like, yeah, it's like a 5 out of 10. It's like completely average, whatever. Maybe a little lower. Like, and it's like every time I watch one of these, because they are the exact same thing, I like my opinion gets like slightly lower every time. It's like, oh, they're not doing anything different. They're not changing. But yeah, I think what really tips this like way down for me is the people, because they like, there's a part like fairly early on where, so I guess for people listening, if you don't know the story, this is in like 2012 or somewhere around there. There was this big cruise ship, a Carnival cruise ship, they're huge. I think it's like 4,000 people on board. They're in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. I forgot. And they lose power, and they're left adrift at sea for a few days. And because they lose power, they lose like running water. That's why it's called the poop cruise, because their sewage gets backed up and starts spilling over and stuff. So early on, like the first day, the crew is like, they like issue an announcement where they're like, basically they use more gentle terminology, but they're basically like, if you got to pee, you can go in the shower. If you have to poop, we're providing you these like red biohazard bags. So go in those and then like tie them up, and then the crew will like dispose of them later. And they get to that point in the documentary, and then there's like 3 different groups of like people who are guests on the ship, and they're all like, I'm not doing that. Are you kidding me? That's disgusting. I'm not pooping in a red bag. And I'm like, then you fucking deserve everything that happened to you the next few days. You deserve all of this. You deserve wallowing in each other's piss and shit. You deserve it because you didn't listen and you didn't take the easy option. Put the fucking bag over the toilet bowl, and then you sit on the toilet bowl. It's like you're shitting in the toilet, but there's just a bag there. And that's just one of the many things. I could go on.
Did it overflow? Like, what happened on this cruise?
Yeah, it's just people just kept shitting in the toilets. There's no running water, so they don't flush. So they're basically like porta potties. And then I guess when it really hit the fan was when they started getting towed by some tugboats. And because of like how getting towed on a ship works, they have to have like a ship in the back kind of working against it to kind of keep it from from just like turning too much. And because of that, the ship lists. That's what listing is. So the ship was like tilting at an angle. And because there was these piles of shit in all the toilets, all of it just came out and was just, I guess it just went everywhere. And there's, again, I don't know how big or like how many toilets there were on the ship, but there's just a lot, And there were other issues I had with people, but what's
the story arc here?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let Nick go for a while.
The way that these Netflix documentaries are designed to be like incredibly manipulative. There's like a certain here's how they go. One, maybe you start with a black screen and you hear news footage of like Carnival Cruise has been stuck at sea for 2 or 3 days. Like you hear like a talking head news footage, and then it'll cut to footage of people partying before it all goes to shit, and they're like, woo, we're on the thing. And then you'll cut to like one person and they'll be like, I was not gonna poop in that red bag. And then you'll cut to a drone shot of like a drone going over one of the Carnival Cruise ships. There's a like you said, and like an algorithm in which they're like, okay, you have to have this shot, you have to have this shot, insert the talking head here, where they are extremely like by the books, by the numbers, like cookie cutter. They're pure empty calorie trash. And when I have days off from work, for whatever reason, that is what I consume. And so I consumed this one day. And the arc of this is so contrived. They try to make one where like so there's like a father and a daughter that were on the original ship, and I think she was like maybe 10 or 11 years old when it happened. I think so. And there's like a moment where I feel like they try to elicit tears out of like their talking heads. Like I feel like they try to get like they're like every documentary now has to have a moment where someone like, you know, does like the excuse me, and then they have to like grab a tissue or whatever. But it was like, he was like, yeah, I just wanted it to be like a good vacation for my daughter, and I feel like I failed as a father. And it's like, it is the weakest shit.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that they've got like the little eucalyptus that they put under their eyes to like get them to well up with tears, like they do for actors, like if they can't cry on the spot or whatever. It felt so unearned and fake. Yeah, that was like the big part for me where I was just like, come on.
Yeah,
and then I think
was annoying.
There was like a maritime lawyer that like tried to like sue Carnival on their behalf. And then there's like a sticker at the end of the movie that was like, Carnival changed their policies on X, Y, and Z after the events of this. And it like, they spent like maybe 5 seconds like wrapping it up. So yeah, I don't know what the arc of this even was, other than like a bunch of like, I don't know. Cause like that's the whole thing with like cruises also, where it's like, it's a poor person's idea of what a rich person does kind of thing. Whereas like you go on one of these cruises and like, yeah, it's just like trashy people doing like trashy people things. I don't know. Like that's kind of what you do on like cruises like that. Like there are like fancier cruises that you can do, but I think Carnival is definitely just like, we're all getting trashed and like getting wild.
Yeah. What was the part that you were waiting for me to get to?
Oh, just like, because I think you do mention like the emotional aspect of it, where they're like trying to get him to cry.
Yeah.
Because like that was like the big thing that I noticed, like in that one scene where they're like trying to get him to evoke tears, and like, you know, she like pats his shoulder, like, no, you are a good dad.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and speaking of when people. Oh, go ahead.
Or like when the girl gets off the boat, like they interview the mom and she's like, I just ran and I hugged her and I was like, oh, I love you so much. I was like, it's not like the ship was ever gonna like sink or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess, you know.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see the problem, quite honestly. I don't
yeah.
see it at all.
They didn't follow what the crew suggested for them, so they got covered in their own excrement. So it's their own fault. And other than that, they just, you know, they were hot because there wasn't any air conditioning. They couldn't listen to music, I guess. I don't know. There's even a part where like a couple days in, the crew guys are like, oh, we're known as we're all trained on the cruise ship to make the cruise as enjoyable for customers. So we were thinking, how can we do that in this, you know, in these tough times? So we decided to make a free open bar for everybody. And as soon as they do, you get shot. There's camera footage of people. This is like a couple days into the power being out, just tons of people surrounding the bar and everybody's getting hammered and partying. And it's like, so that's all it takes. That just proves how just animalistic and dumb human beings are. It's like, you know, as long as we get our fix, as long as we get our dopamine, our alcohol, our, you know, as long as we get our drinkies, then we're happy. You know, we're all just tall babies that just want, you know, we want our milkies and we want our toys.
See, now I'm starting to come around on this documentary, and I do think it is like a perfect examination of the human condition. So now I'm going to rate it 5 stars on Letterboxd.
You're landing on something that makes it significant here.
You're reading between the lines. You're like picking up on the subtext of what the documentary was actually about.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's pretty based. Yeah, I get really dark at the end of my review on Letterboxd because I kind of go off on a thing about that.
Well, they got you to click on it though, so.
Yeah.
Again,
they're going to send you more of that stuff.
I know.
As you go.
I saw it because I could tell just from like looking at these now that I'm like, oh, this is one of those. Because I will say, sometimes Netflix makes documentaries that aren't like this. They're like of a higher caliber or whatever. Mm-hmm. This isn't 100% of all their documentaries they make, but this is a majority. and I could tell just from seeing the thumbnail and the name, like that's what this is. That's what this Trainwreck series is. But I started running on the treadmill at the gym, and I'm like, I need something to watch. So what's something that I can watch that I don't need to care about, that I can watch in like 20 to 30 minute increments, and then, you know, not watch again for another few days until I go back to the gym. I'm like, this kind of stuff seems perfect for that. This one really put that to the test. I'm like, is this better than just staring at the wall in front of me now? I'm not sure. But no, I'll probably watch another one just because running on the treadmill is so fucking boring.
Yes. It's awful. This Trainwreck series doesn't look like it has... Most of them don't seem to have any story to them. I mean, a story arc, it's hard to imagine what that would be.
Yeah, there's one about the Balloon Boy story.
The Balloon Boy,
I don't into a documentary.
Storming Area 51, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so they're basically just doing, like, online trends, because, like, Balloon Boy was, like, a Twitter thing.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, someone on Twitter will retweet like the original Balloon Boy tweet onto the timeline, and it always makes me laugh. It's like from 2009 from like CNN. They'll repost the like a boy has been in a balloon that is floating southbound, and you know, yeah, storming Area 51. That was like a Facebook event that they made that like I guess a bunch of people went to. Really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
That's what I wonder what it's going to be about, because like the Storm Area 51, I'm pretty sure in the end there was like I want to say less than like 10 people showed up. Maybe it was like a little bit more, but it was like, so what are you going to do? Like, oh, there was a big Facebook event, and then it was a joke event, and guess what? Nobody showed up because it was a joke. Well, let's make this into a documentary.
Right. Yes. All right. Well, I'll completely avoid that. Thank you. I don't need to. Yeah.
Yeah, just check out my review. I think does a pretty good encapsulation of like just the feelings that it will elicit. All right. Yeah. On that note, we get to
pick the next movie.
Another cup pull. And our next movie for the next week. Next episode, shit. Is from 1995, directed by Matthew Kassovitz. La Haine. I'm probably not saying that right.
Oh.
You probably heard
it. So
it.
it's not another... No more duds, huh?
La Haine. That'll be the week after. The week after is our next
yeah.
I always think that this guy looks like Matthew Lillard. There's like the shot of him looking at himself in the mirror and like doing like the handgun. For the longest time, I've seen that clip out of context, and I thought it was Matthew Lillard. It is not him.
I think that's, is it Vincent Cassel? I think that's him, maybe.
I think it is, yeah. This is like a really, I mean, based on like, I don't know, like film Twitter or whatever, I see a lot of this one, like screenshots of it. This is like a big Criterion one too. Like I see that like all over the place. So
yeah,
I'm excited though, because I've always wanted to watch it, and now I have a reason to.
Yeah, another French connection.
It's like a French connection, really. It's like a gritty Paris crime movie.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's one that I've wanted to see for a while too.
Before we sign off, Josh, where can people find you?
Yeah. Well,
plug your stuff
wherever they want.
Yeah,
YouTube.
Don't
learning
find
about
me. Don't
movies.
come looking for me.
YouTube, learning about movies. I have a Substack. I'm sure if you just find me YouTube that way, you'll find the other stuff.
I usually put I'll see what I do in the other ones, but I usually put your Substack link at least in the episode description and stuff. But yeah, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah,
as always, you're
welcome anytime. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll let you know what the next dud one we pull is too.
Yeah, please. That would be. It actually would be fun. To talk about stupidity.
Yeah.
I mean, more than you have already done.
Yeah.
Maybe
kinda
it
did
needs
a
to be on the
mini
poop
dud
cruise.
with the-
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll just do that one.
Do
We
what
do
one?
Balloon Boy.
The poop cruise.
Oh,
You need to rewatch it. Look for the
That's a good question.
subtle sociological criticism in it.
Oh man, a deep dive into that. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, well, yeah, watch that movie before the next episode if you don't want to be spoiled for it. These episodes come out on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. EST on YouTube in video form, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more in audio form. We also have social pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And with all that said, I guess I have picked my toes in Poughkeepsie. And with me as always.
As always.
Yeah, that can be.
And I am Nick. And joining us today.
Oh, well, I'm going to get one of those hats.
Please.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
If you haven't reviewed it on your channel, you should do that and like get one of the hats and like your little police badge on your collar, you know.
I like it. Yeah.
I almost thought when you jumped in the like video chat room, but you hadn't like started your camera yet, I was like, oh, please be wearing a hat. Please be wearing one of those hats.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.